Did you know we are dealing with two pandemics? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm a family lawyer. But now you've probably heard the highlights of last night's or Monday night's speech by President Ramaphosa. I'm not going to repeat it, you can find the speech online. But there are a few points coming out of it that I want to reflect on. Now, the speech harbored few surprises. Some might have hoped for an end to the alcohol ban, but it was never likely to happen a mere 2 weeks after it was reintroduced. While there is no correlation between consumption of alcohol and the transmission of COVID-19, obviously the point behind the ban is to reduce cases of alcohol-related trauma filling up our hospitals. Our public health system is fragile at the best of times. It is under tremendous strain from the current wave of COVID-19 infections. If we can remove one source of pressure on our hospitals, it may mean lives are saved. So while we may grumble about the curfew and the booze ban, they are there for a reason. We need to be socially responsible and support them. In my law practice, SD Law, I've campaigned actively against gender-based violence. The rate of rape, femicide, and domestic violence in South Africa is shameful. Therefore, I welcome measures announced by the President to curb the second pandemic. Civil society has worked hard to combat GBV, but it's clear that more needs to be done. A concerted effort by government is necessary. The President said that taxi drivers and marshals are to be sensitized on gender awareness norms, toxic masculinity, and gender-based violence. Faith-based organizations are working together to sensitize religious leaders on patriarchy. This is essential as our institutions are the guardians of patriarchal norms, reinforcing the oppression of women. Men feel validated in their gender primacy when it is upheld and even encouraged by church and community leaders. These leaders will be trained to accompany and support survivors of GBV from reporting to the crime right through to the court process. I would argue that more needs to be done in schools, sports clubs, and other places where boys and young men convene. Toxic masculinity begins in boyhood. We can't wait for the current generation of boys to grow up before we engage with them. We also need to socialize girls to not accept, tolerate, or expect certain types of behaviors from boys and men. However, I welcome these initiatives and encourage our government to go further still. South Africa is a nation of huge inequality. Here and around the world, COVID-19 has highlighted the extreme socioeconomic inequalities that exist. Poor, disadvantaged, and vulnerable people have really suffered in the pandemic, and women and migrants are among the worst affected. As we eagerly await the rollout of the vaccination program, my wish for South Africa is that we emerge from this pandemic with greater awareness of the glaring inequality that divides our country and a renewed commitment to building a fairer, more equitable society for all. The President asked us all to act with a common purpose to defeat the virus and rebuild our lives and our nation. However, I believe that recovery means more than this. We have an opportunity to build back better. We must seize it.